The group chat.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Nick Bambina here, and today I'm here with Mikey and Carson. Yes, they're both back, and
Back.
this is the fifth iteration of this podcast. Welcome back.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we're really excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a little deep this time.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
How deep?
So I was thinking. Okay, all right, Carson. Um, so I was thinking we could start off with a little aspiration talk. Talk about where we see ourselves 15 years. Oh, mic closer. There we go. Is that good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right. Yeah. So Nick, do you want to start us?
Yeah. So aspirations in terms of where we're gonna be in 5 years.
So where do you see yourself in 15 years?
in
Right.
15
in 15
years.
years, what motivates you to get there, and how did those motivations arise?
So for me, as of right now, my path seems to be set out for law school. Not only does the topic interest me, but my uncle's a lawyer, my grandfather's a lawyer, my great grandfather's a lawyer or was a lawyer, and so like my you know, uh, we come from a family of people in the law professions, lawyers, and so my uncle has a law firm, and so a bunch of his coworkers have become like family friends, and so we go and we like have family events together, and so I've been immersed in that atmosphere for my entire life, and so I just kind of picked up an appreciation for that field, and so over the pandemic, one of the things that happened was everything was on Zoom, and so a few of my uncle's trials were also on not Zoom, but they were live streamed, and you had the special key to get in and all that. It's private,
But you had access to it?
yeah, to my uncle.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I would go over to my grandfather's house, and for certain cases, like one of them, my uncle's on a murder trial. He's a criminal defense attorney, so we would go on, and my grandfather and I would sit down. So my grandfather, he worked in the federal sector, so he worked with not state crimes but federal crimes, but a lot of them are a lot of the laws between state and federal are similar,
Right.
but we would go through, we would sit and we would analyze aspects of the trial, and then
You would sit there too?
yeah, with my
Oh, that's
grandfather,
kinda cool.
maybe we would go through and look at the facts of the case and how my uncle would present the facts, and and such things like that. And so it was actually, it was great. And then after we go, and we would cook and make food and then have dinner with them, and make branzino fish,
Yeah.
and then peppers
Super
and
Italian.
onions, and I know. And so that's, and then that showed me that's more trial law. That's what I would be. That's what I would go for.
Wait, so you can do trial law. What else would there be?
Paper law. There's
Lame.
not
Come
lame, but
on.
important. Like there's real estate law.
Wait,
Yeah, there's divorce law.
but is that not the same thing, like trial, right?
It's different because certain things, there are two types of law: civil and criminal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so civil's more like a person to person. That's like suing. Criminal,
That's not trial.
it is trial to an
Okay,
extent.
It is trial to an extent.
Yeah,
but
but
there's some cases.
correct, because sometimes, usually with those cases, they may settle outside of court.
Oh, so that's what a divorce is, really.
So yeah, it depends.
Honestly, that's always confused
Sometimes
me
it
about
is, sometimes it
divorces.
isn't. Depends. Sometimes there's a divorce court where you go and you allocate money. That's what you go to a judge to go to child support and increased child support and things like that.
Yeah.
Who gets the house, how the finances are set. So that's what and also for things like a prenup. You know what that is?
Yeah, that's like what you sign before marriage, right?
Yeah.
Well, what some people
before
decide to sign.
divorce, basically. Before you get so basically that just allocates who gets what when if the divorce ends. That stuff, that's not trial, but that's still paperwork. There's family court where I think technically, I forget, I think it's 16 in the state of New York. Or basically, if you have a child who commits a crime under a certain age, they go to that type of court. But if they're 17, 18, they get tried in adult court. Basically, that's called like that.
Yeah.
So that's more like trial. But
Yeah.
then there were a lot of lawyers who will just like they will write up documents and such like that, and they will like work on stuff with paper and like Word and like doing all that, as opposed to trial attorneys who more like they will write that right for certain circumstances, but they also take notes and bring that paper to discuss on the floor of the court. But usually for criminal cases, there's a jury of 12 people, whereas for certain like I know for like divorce court, it's just a judge and them. Like you're pleading your case to the judge as opposed to in criminal cases you plead to a jury, so it's totally different. And for a judge, they know the law. For the people, they know, to appeal to their like human element to it.
Yeah, I got you.
Did you know that I actually got called up for jury duty when I was younger? Yeah,
Why?
Wow.
it was a false thing.
So they called you up
dismissed
for
it.
jury duty?
Yeah, when I was 12.
What the?
I know, right?
Really?
Yeah.
You know how they pick jury duty?
How do they pick it?
Out of the voting selections.
So if you
primarily.
don't vote,
So I voted.
No, you
apparently?
still get you
Oh,
still
okay, I
get
was about to
picked.
say.
You still get
guys,
picked,
nobody
but-
vote.
No, definitely no. Vote, guys. Go vote. Voting is actually
your
very
vote in.
important.
Governor and senator race that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Right? We're learning about that in economics
Mhm.
class.
We're learning about that in American government class. Or
Mm.
whatever that is.
Screw government. But yeah. So would you say that's something you're passionate about?
Definitely, especially for more of that like on the floor. Because for me, it's also I like to talk to. I feel probably more comfortable with a jury trial,
Mhm.
only because I feel you appeal to a person's humanity, like
Right.
in their personal stuff. Like one of the cases we analyzed, my grandfather and my uncle did was a self-defense trial.
Uh-huh.
So basically, what happened was, in rough terms, there was like two people that had guns, right, and they were shooting at each other. But the
Yeah.
guy in the middle, right, knew both of them. He didn't have any weapon, right, and they were just firing off into nothingness, right. And then one guy started to walk towards him, who didn't really know he had a weapon on him. The weapon was, it wasn't visible at the time, but he was walking towards him aggressively, and my uncle's client tried to get in his house. The key broke in the door.
Hold up, are you breaking like a law right now? By telling
No,
us
this is the court's closed.
closed.
So my uncle's client was trying to get in his home, but his key broke in the door. Now this guy with a weapon is coming towards him.
Yeah.
Weapon's not out, but it's not totally like concealed.
Mhm.
And so he's walking towards him at a semi-aggressive pace. And my uncle's client turns around and at a relatively close distance just stabs him. Right?
Oh,
Once, like right
Uh-huh.
up in the upper, like right in this area.
did he die?
The guy did die because he did pierce an artery.
Uh-huh.
But now this is what the trial's for. And with murder trials, it's the state of New York versus the client. So it's the state who's the prosecutor, and my uncle's client was the defendant.
Your client.
I know, I mean, yeah. And so that's one of the things you gotta argue to. You're arguing against the state.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a landmark case.
So the state is basically trying to argue that he killed him.
Correct.
That's murder.
Correct.
And so you're vouching for this person.
Well, vouching in
vouching.
yeah, in the sense of
vouching in casual terms. Like,
Yeah.
obviously not.
It's but it's more in the terms of you're trying to show to a jury that this man had a reasonable fear for his life.
Yeah.
And
no,
that's the key element is that my uncle's client,
that he had a reason to stab him, basically.
yeah, that he had a reason not only to stab him, more it's like the fear of like your life is threatened. That's what it is. And trying to appeal that to a jury as opposed to a judge, it's different because technically the weapon wasn't away.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't totally concealed, but again, it wasn't in his hands at the time. So, when he was walking away, and he did try to get away with the key. And so that's what, like, you go and that's what I think that would be very, fulfilling to have it as a profession to, have somebody. And he was a good man. Like, he was like yes, he had some history and past of doing, like, illegal activity with drugs and all that. But then the statute of limitations of that had ended. You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
for sure.
basically, it was like I think statute of limitations on
So it couldn't be used
drugs.
against him in court.
Yeah, but not only that, like let's say like there are a few crimes that have no statute of limitations, but
Mhm.
for drugs, I think it's 5 years. So
Uh-huh.
technically, if you do something and you wait 5 years and then you say it, you can't be tried for that crime.
Wait, yeah, that has always confused me. So how does it work with murder? Is there statute
No,
of limitation?
never.
Okay, yeah.
So like
no,
you
because that
can kill someone when you're
doesn't make any
12.
sense, yeah.
You can murder someone when you're 12, and when you're 89, you can be sentenced to prison.
Mm.
There's none of that, and there are like rape. I believe another one that has no statute of limitations, and like very serious crimes
Yeah.
have none of that. So yeah, you can never So you can be tried whenever for stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. What's like the worst crime you could get away with by like through the statute of limitations? Do you think?
Well, there are some that you could just escape by simply escaping the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think for most of those, it depends on how serious you are and if the
Yeah.
country is like, like there are, I forget who it is, but there are certain people, one of them was in France, where he was on trial, he was being accused of tax evasion,
Right.
and he just escaped to France, and he can never come back to the U.S. because he'd be arrested on site if he steps foot in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
But he lives like a decent life in France but under a certain limit.
On this sort of topic, do you know about like the whole situation with Brittany Griner in Russia?
Yep.
That's
seen that on
certain-
Instagram.
Uh-huh.
all
where
over.
she was like, yeah.
So what even was that? It was possession of marijuana, right? that she's in
Yes.
there
Yeah.
for. So
On-
she's literally she's in Russia right now, and
Yeah.
she's facing 9 years in prison.
9
Yeah.
years for just.
That's insane.
See, but that is
for
more of a-
marijuana, it's legal here.
Yeah, but that's
crazy.
more of a political
That's
move in
Russia.
terms. That's more of a political move
Oh, okay,
against
gotcha.
Russia
That's
saying
political, yeah.
like
They
screw
shouldn't
the
be allowed
US.
to do that. In
Well,
my opinion.
It's technically she violated Russian law, so technically they have the ability.
But they wouldn't do that to a normal citizen. Do you think?
It depends on what kind of citizen it is. I think that they would, especially if they're making a statement and it's a big citizen. Yeah. Or like
no,
a
but
measly,
that's what I'm
measly
saying.
pa-
Like,
or a measly,
because
like, low
because
guy.
it's Brittany Griner, they're like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yes and
You know what I
no.
mean? Oh, okay.
Because I think that they're Russia in punishment wise is
Mhm.
much more strict.
Yeah.
But the fact that the U.S. has also said, let us take her home, and Russia is
Right.
saying no, go goodbye, we don't like you.
Mhm.
So it's also a political move.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like there have been other circumstances in which like people have gone to, like there was a kid, he went to North Korea and he tore like a poster off a wall,
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that.
and he got like 10 years hard labor or
Uh-huh.
something like that.
Wait, he had to do labor.
Like hard.
oh,
like,
but North
in-
Korea is like crazy. Like,
correct,
North
and, like-
Korea is like,
and it's like intensive labor, and his family finally got him back,
Mhm.
and he died within weeks of returning to the U.S.
yeah,
because he was such intense labor for like a
That's
decade.
insane.
Yeah, and they had
A
no
decade, yeah,
health
that's
care.
crazy.
Yeah, every day, like no nonstop, poor food. They got him back, and weeks later he died. Yeah.
If you were forced to live in a country, what would your last option be if you had to live in a country?
We mean last option.
That's pretty.
So like
easy.
so
what
North Korea?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
so
I would
like,
probably go with,
like living situation wise. Like, let's say you had to live
Okay,
somewhere,
I would
right?
talk- I
You
would-
can't escape. You can't take an airplane.
Are we
no
talking
boat,
like,
nothing like that.
any country ever?
Any country ever? Well, not in history, like now. You
No,
know?
yeah, any country that exists today. I don't know. I'd probably either go to Canada. It's kind of close.
No. That you don't like. That you.
A country that
last
you
resort,
wouldn't.
like the worst possible situation
Yeah,
in
North
your
Korea,
opinion,
that's
of course.
easy.
I mean, yeah, North
Worst?
Korea is pretty terrible.
Yeah, but North Korea, it's like nah. I don't know. Like North Korea is like really bad. Like it's
What do
really
you mean?
but
The whole
the thi-
country's
no,
fake.
Okay,
exactly.
the thing about North Korea though is that you're facing oppression from your own country, right?
Yeah.
You look at other countries. Look at like toward more towards the Middle East. There's a lot of countries there where they're facing warfare. They don't know how many more days they're gonna have a roof over their head. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
that's a
but
big
that's
concern.
yeah, but
know?
that's not for certain countries like in Afghanistan, I believe.
Yeah.
With when the U.S. was there,
Yeah.
their own government was trying to support the people, and
Uh-huh.
it was external forces the
True.
Taliban trying to
No,
attack
yeah, I know,
them.
but I'm saying like
So,
that's like
but,
a factor.
but,
like-
but my point is, in
Uh-huh.
that country, if you
Yeah.
had need, you could go to the government
fair,
of that.
yeah.
Whereas in North Korea,
That's, yeah.
North Korea, literally, like if you get charged with a crime in North Korea, there's
Mhm.
nothing, there's no one to turn to
There's
at
nobody.
all. There's
no
no one
unless,
there.
unless you can
There's
escape.
no-
Oh,
nothing.
how would you guys escape North Korea?
What?
How would you escape North
There-
Korea?
there was
Oh,
a-
you-
there
I
was-
don't think you
or
can.
there was a- there
you
was a
can,
book-
It's possible.
There was a book, Every
Uh-huh.
Fallen Star,
Uh-huh.
where where
Yeah,
a
I know that
kid,
book, yeah.
a
A
kid,
kid escaped.
basically, I think it's a true story. What
No,
happened?
it's happened multiple times.
What
There's a ton of
happened was his
defectors from North
father.
Korea,
His
yeah.
father was someone in the government,
Mhm.
and the government changed politically,
Yeah.
and so he used to live like a semi-lavish life, like a decent life.
This is in North Korea.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then his father in Pyongyang, I believe it's pronounced.
Pyongyang,
Yeah,
yeah.
Pyongyang,
Uh-huh.
and his father like lost his position in the government because the government changed to be like a bad government, and his father like
Wow.
semi-resisted,
Uh-huh.
and so he lost his family. He was living off this. It was a crazy story.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it was a whole like long
And so his
thing.
whole life changed.
Yeah. Oh, instantly as a young kid, and
Uh-huh.
as him growing up, like
Yeah.
living on the run,
Mhm.
hiding from who he really was. And then basically he found his long distant grandparents,
Mhm.
and his grandparents smuggled him out to South Korea
That's crazy.
to his father. His mother.
Oh, so his
his
father
mother-
left.
But his father was orchestrating his escape.
No, yeah, because
Yeah,
so
his
what
father
they,
had people go find
listen
him.
to this. Yeah, what they do
Yeah.
in North Korea is so when you like, let's say you try to escape North Korea, right? They don't only take that against you and try and find you. They'll capture your family. They'll kill your family. They'll torture your family. That's why being in North Korea, honestly, I don't even know if I would escape because if they're holding that against you, like that's just
Yeah, but that's why
Mm.
that's like a not
They have
you know.
assassins. We've seen it before.
they have assassin. I'm sure
Kim Jong
we
Un
we
assassinated.
okay
his
we
brother.
we probably have assassins as well. All right.
We do, but they're not gonna bust in the country and go.
Yeah,
Because that's a
they're not
threat.
gonna they're not gonna
That
turn
is
on
a
the
threat on
citizens.
communism.
Yeah, they're not gonna turn on
them-
the thing is with like American utilities, they're not gonna turn on citizens
Because this
unless
what do
they
you mean by utilities?
like any like with like in other communist countries, like if
Right.
they have like certain like even like speaking the way I'm speaking,
Uh-huh.
right? Would put if I said what I'm saying right now in let's see
Oh,
even
yeah.
Russia or like North Korea, they
Or
could
like
have
China, right? China is still.
yeah,
Yeah.
but to a different degree.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Um,
definitely. North
yeah.
Korea is definitely the top in terms of like.
Yes, definitely that and then in Russia because Russia
Uh-huh.
people would disappear for speaking out against the
That's-
war on Ukraine.
Yep.
And so
Mhm.
certain like that, like that's the government turning its utilities on its citizens.
That is a scary thought.
That yeah.
Like there's so many realities that I mean, we're from New York. He's from Darien. He's a little different, but, yeah.
They're in Connecticut.
But like
Shout
there's
out.
so many realities that we don't have to face just because we grew
Yeah.
up here. And imagining that, can you imagine like not being able to trust your own government?
That's crazy. And
like,
the thing is,
if
a
you
lot
do
of people
something wrong, you
don't
could
trust the American
disappear.
government. Yeah,
American government? Yeah, no, totally.
but
I mean-
but it's a whole different level.
Yeah,
of what you're
exactly. It's way
saying.
easy. It's way easier to.
more now than it was earlier.
Yeah,
They
it's
don't
way
trust
easier
the
to trust
government.
United States. You look at a guy like Alex Jones, like the fucking the conspiracy theorists and stuff like
I
that.
love
You know
Alex
Alex Jones?
Jones.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
He's
yeah.
funny.
No, but yeah, I think if I was in North Korea, you know how I'd escape?
How?
I would book it through the what's the demilitarized zone?
Yeah, that
The DMZ.
I don't know if I do
I'd try
that
my
because there
best.
are many troops patrolling that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
if you get through there, boom, South Korea.
I think the South Korean troops would shoot you.
Yeah.
no. South Korea's
They would still shoot
accepting
you.
of-
Yeah.
They would still.
You think
shoot
so?
you.
No,
Yes,
it,
they
it
would.
depends. It depends.
If you rush the border, how
watched-
much like
No, if you,
tension build up is that on both sides? That's just no. You
I
get
don't know.
shot
Maybe,
both ways.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on how you approach it. I think
Mhm.
if you kind of approach it with like you're running for your life, maybe it's different.
Yeah, for sure.
I go at
But
night.
maybe
Well, obviously,
Yeah.
I'd go at night.
You
yeah,
didn't
boom.
specify.
no, I go
Well,
during,
yeah,
I go
okay,
during
well-
broad daylight, like maybe 2 p.m. when the sun's like on me, get a nice tan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like
yeah.
I'll
Put,
just
put
go
up a
in there,
lawn
like-
chair and
You know,
start
I'm actually
reading.
gonna go on my underwear and just like scream my name really loud.
Or just, I don't know, just start
there are
reading.
there are
yeah.
certain things that are like, obviously for like escaping. I actually watched a video about it a while ago. There's a few different ways that you can escape from North Korea, right? So there's the Gobi Desert. The Gobi Desert is connected
Oh
to.
shit! I watched that video.
Yeah, you
too.
watched that
I
video
just
too?
don't- I just
Yeah,
don't remember
that was a
when you
good
brought it
video.
up. It
No,
was
because
good.
there's DMZ, right? The demilitarized zone where troopers are literally hiding in the ground, ready to shoot you. There's the Gobi Desert, which is treacherous physical situations, but obviously you don't have troopers. I mean, you probably have a few troopers in your way, and it's not gonna be
Landmines.
that- landmines, yeah. Well, there's
Landmines,
landmines in DMZ, yeah.
Well, are
Um,
there?
Yeah,
There are, right?
yeah, of course. And
I
then
don't think they put them there.
oh, gotcha. And so and so there's the DMZ, the Gobi Desert, but honestly, you could also escape by boat. And I've heard stories about defectors from North
Well, it
Korea.
depends on like on the also the military on the shoreline or like stuff like that.
No, yeah,
but
obviously.
how-
No, it's not going to be easy no matter what. But I've heard stories about defectors from North Korea that go to China. China isn't like South Korea. China doesn't take care of
You
those
know why the
defectors.
China is communist but as successful as it is?
Yeah.
You know why?
You know
Why?
they support North Korea, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. That you would be sent back if you're
Yeah.
caught by the government.
Exactly. If you're
That's
caught by
why, yeah.
Chinese
So
government,
like they
then
say
you
that
get
by boat is like the least restrictive way to
I
escape
guess,
North
but
Korea,
then-
but that's
because
because they
China's
have that
different,
safety
yeah.
net.
But also, do you
Like,
know why
North Korea
China?
has
You know
them.
why China is one of the most, or as the longest lasting and most successful communist countries
They're
to
gonna
ever
overtake our
exist?
economy.
Do you
in
know-
a couple of years,
that-
actually.
that's it.
Scary.
They allow high levels of capitalism in their society. That's why. Do you know why the space race happened
Why?
in the '60s? To bankrupt the Soviet government, and you know what it did?
Long story.
Yeah, that was
So
one-
that was started by so that was
Long
the
story
US
on
the
part
US
of US.
the U.S.
That is smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
they and that was one of the things that led up to the fall of the Soviet Russian communist empire
Mhm.
was that the fact that they was because they hadn't because it was part of Vietnam was the whole idea of communist versus capitalist democratic nations.
Gotcha.
And that's why Vietnam was so big because we weren't really fighting the certain Vietnamese people. We were fighting more of the Russian superpower backing Vietnam.
Yeah,
And that's-
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons why they collapsed in the way they did in the 90s.
Mm.
And Putin rose directly out of the collapse. He was part of the KGB. That's
Yeah,
that's
he
like
brought
How
Like
old
the-
is Putin?
he's 69
60.
70s
How long has he been in power for?
since the 2000s.
Yeah. Okay, not too. I mean,
No,
not
no,
crazy.
that's long.
I mean, that
He-
obviously no, that's
he-
long. But I
he
thought you were about to tell me
amended-
like 80.
No,
or something like that.
he
That'd be crazy.
amended
Who's
he amended
before
the
him?
Constitution. What?
Who's before him again?
Before
before
Putin.
Putin?
Barachev? No.
I could not tell
Barachev?
you.
I forget.
I'm not
I
historically
forget
versed, I don't
Barachev.
know.
Barachev. I forget
dude,
something like that. But he amended the Russian Constitution to instill him to have unlimited terms, essentially, and have him keep winning elections.
So he's basically just got to die.
And then the thing is, he has such a control over the government at this
Mm.
point that there's no,
Yeah,
untouchable.
it's yeah. I mean, but like at some point he's gonna die, right? I wonder where the government's gonna go after that.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But yo, that's actually a really interesting topic. Is a space race. I think space is so
I
cool.
love space. Have you seen it?
We talk about space.
You
Yeah.
seen Interstellar?
No, I haven't.
What?
Wait, is Interstellar? Is that the one where they're
Matthew
nearby
McConaughey.
the black hole? They go
Yeah.
to- yeah.
But you
I
haven't seen it
watched
in a
that movie.
while.
So I watched that movie, but
we
I was
should rewatch
young.
that.
That's like the thing about like space movies and like because it does involve like math concepts as
But
well.
that is the
and
Look
physics.
it up.
What?
Who the
It's
that is the
Hold on.
Interstellar
gotta
is
get it
the
back.
most accurate space movie to date.
Oh, it's so
it's
cool.
Boris Yeltsin.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Just
right.
the idea that
1999,
you
8
can
years.
Yes, 99
And
because
then
it
Putin the first.
because
before
yes,
him.
Uh-huh.
and then because it collapsed in 91, I
Mhm.
believe, was the year that the Soviet Union collapsed in 91.
I couldn't
And
tell you.
he came in Putin came in right like that decade, like right after.
Gotcha.
And so he's been in power since then.
No, but Putin served from 2000 2008, and then 2008 to 12 was Dmitry Medvedev, and then Putin again in 2012.
Yeah, and so that then he amended the constitution to establish himself in
Exactly.
power. Yeah,
There you go, Putin.
yeah. No, that's not how you do that. You do not. No,
So is that accurate to like the time right
no,
now?
that's not. Right now it's 2 minutes to 10
2 minutes.
till 10 minutes.
Oh,
left.
okay. Yeah. No. So
Yeah.
we got time. Yeah. We'll do
Yeah.
like 8 more minutes.
Space.
We'll end around like 55. So we
Yeah.
can talk space for a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Interstellar is the most accurate space
can I tell
movie
you
to date.
What my favorite movie was for the longest time? Before Whiplash, we talked about
Mhm.
Whiplash. I love Whiplash.
Okay.
Fantastic movie. My favorite movie for years was The Martian. You ever
The
watched The Martian?
Martian?
I think we talked about this as well.
I haven't seen that in a long
Such a
time.
good movie.
The potato scene
Yeah.
in that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Who's it?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah. That was a fantastic.
That was a good movie.
For the longest time, I mean,
But there are a few things in there that like are a bit
exactly.
movie.
Yeah. No, it's
But,
it's more
yeah.
it's movie. Yeah, exactly.
But Interstellar is like science.
and it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a really
Oh my
good production.
god, it's so good. And the thing is, like, there are so many niche science, space elements
Mhm.
that go on in that movie
Yeah.
that like are actually based in reality.
Yeah, the whole this is like kind of spoiling it, I guess, but I mean we're talking about it now
Yeah,
anyways.
it's been out for
so-
almost over a decade.
I think
It
the
came out in
concept
2013, I think, right?
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost 10 years
It
old.
was so well done too.
Oh my god, it's
But
fantastic.
the concept that somebody can age at a
That's
different
real.
speed from someone else, and the
Oh.
fact that that's real.
It happens on Earth. If you live up,
No, I know.
if you,
Yeah,
if you live on Mount Everest, and if you
Uh-huh.
live by the equator, you age differently. Did you know that?
yeah, but like how?
Wait, well,
Yeah. If
That-
you
no
didn't
know
if
that?
You, yeah, if you
No,
so
Carson,
Carson,
basically
have you watched Interstellar?
okay,
so-
so
Yeah, you got
basically
it.
no, not Interstellar, but like
Yeah, well,
with-
explaining the concept. Yeah.
with it's all had so time and space are not two different things. It's one thing. Space time. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
The
so
fabric.
correct.
Mhm.
And it's described to be a fabric because of the way it functions.
Yeah.
And with that concept, gravity is essential in space time.
Mhm.
And so because it's closer to the equator, gravity is higher, and then closer up north, gravity is less, right? If you live by Mount Everest, like on top of Mount Everest, and you live right on the equator,
Wait, so if we're talking gravity, wouldn't it just be distance from the center of the Earth, or would it be?
well, because that is where gravity for
right,
us
right. So
originates.
it wouldn't have to be the equator, though. It could be anywhere on the Earth.
Well, equator is where the gravity is the strongest.
Oh, is it really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And so because it's closest to like that center middle of the Earth.
Gotcha.
Because technically everything with mass has gravity, and that's what that's why E equals mc squared is such a fundamentally huge equation,
Mhm.
because it shows that everything has mass, and
Yep.
mass and gravity are connected. That is crucial. That one equation led to the creation of the iPhone, the atomic bomb, the space race, all that.
Yeah.
Because like technically, like this microphone right in front of me
Mhm.
is pulling towards myself.
No, yeah, that is. See, that's. I feel like that needs to be taught to kids.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I started kind of looking into astronomy and stuff like that, and like astrophysics, that's a shocking concept to
Yeah.
understand.
That like if there was so the reason why it doesn't move because of not only friction is
Yeah.
primarily the one,
But
and
there is a force
and
that's
gravity.
pulling you towards it.
yeah,
that is
because
crazy.
anything with mass has gravity
Uh-huh.
innately.
Yep.
If you have mass and weight are different things.
You have gravity. Carson has gravity. I have gravity.
just because of our mass.
You
But yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. Carson over here is kind of a nerd, so he's probably interested in that stuff.
And
But
yeah, and
this
so-
is about as complicated as it gets in my mind. So.
Yeah. And so basically with Interstellar, what happens is, so a little spoiler, there's a element with a black hole,
Yeah.
right? No. With that, but there's also a planet, right? They go to,
Yeah.
and the planet has immensely strong gravity, so much so to that of Earth. So basically what happens is they go to this planet, and because the gravity is so strong, every minute there is like 7 years or 7 days on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're there for like 23 minutes, and like
I
decades
get that concept.
decades go by because
Yeah.
It's
because
insane.
gravity is so strong. So gravity, the stronger the gravity, the slower the aging of or something with the aging effect. I think.
But for me,
the
I don't.
slower the aging effect. So
Me
basically,
personally, I don't understand that concept.
like
The
technically,
space time, like the concept of time, is where it gets confusing for me. I can understand the bend.
yeah. So
and the
basically,
curvature in it, but-
time as we perceive it
Mhm.
is a social construct based on the sun, and that's it.
So,
So,
for
so
you-
it being,
yeah,
it being 4:53 as of right now is a construct that we have
Yeah.
invented. So therefore, if you think of time not as that and not linear,
Mhm.
time is not linear when you bring any form of gravitational force into anything.
Yep.
Like like the best way to show gravity and gravitational pull, if you have like a round table and you put like an elastic top on it, and you
right.
put a ball in the middle, and the ball will sink down.
No, yeah, that's
right,
yeah,
and then
that's
you
what-
spin
that's,
marbles around.
uh-huh.
So-
That's how orbitational
Yeah.
motion works.
Yeah,
what you're technically saying is that if you can somehow find a way to control gravity, you can control time.
Correct, but you can only So basically, like let's say if
That gets me thinking.
basically,
Yeah.
but you
Seriously.
can't go into the future. Like okay, the best way to describe time.
yeah.
Like let's say if
I know
a
you can't go into the future,
a
but
table-
you can change.
no,
You can move at a separate speed from another person and then meet them in that future, if that makes sense.
Not really.
Think about it this
hold
way.
on.
Think
No,
about
it's
it
more,
this
it's more
way.
like if you have a table of snow and you drag your finger in that snow,
Mhm.
right? If you have two people dragging lines in the snow and one person just starts to drag it slower than the other one,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
that's what it is.
So
It's
that's
a-
what I'm saying.
about-
So it's two times as a construct as we understand it moving, and then they're meeting. And so
Well, they're
this
meeting-
person has experienced the same amount of time as we know it.
No,
right?
it would be the opposite. It would be that the person with the increased
But
gravity.
yeah. No, that's what
The
I'm
person
saying.
with
I'm not
increased
saying, like,
gravity
I
has
wasn't saying anyone in
experienced.
specific, yeah.
That's because technically, so we age at a constant rate,
Mhm.
right? So one body minute is always one body minute. Right, we'll finish in like a minute.
Yeah. we got it.
One body minute is one body minute. But if that one body minute is 10 Earth minutes,
Yep.
it's different. So
Yep.
in Interstellar, one body minute is 7 years on Earth.
Yep.
So Cooper, the main character,
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey,
Mhm.
he has experienced on Earth years like 210 Earth years,
Mhm.
right? But he's only experienced 53 body years or 54 body years.
Mhm.
And that's how it works. So he goes near that black hole. So technically with a black hole, because the gravity gets exponentially more intense,
Yeah.
you're
obviously.
technically you would fall into that black hole for the eternity of time,
Mhm.
because your time would be slowed so much so to the fact that you would
And that's what they call the event horizon, right?
the event horizon is like the point of no return in
Yeah.
a black hole. A cool space fact I just found. So let's say a black hole will eat a star.
Uh-huh.
Basically, they'll have this like
Well, it does
space.
that all the time.
Yeah, but have
It
this
is so
space
good, so-
burp. I'd say, right?
Oh yeah, I heard about that where it
Yeah.
shoots out. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
this one ate a star, and then 3 years later, space burped. Usually, it space burps instantly
Why
because
is that?
they don't know. Because technically,
See, there's so many things
Yeah.
we don't know.
we've only ever experienced certain
It's just like our
Certain- yeah.
oceans. Only 30% of the ocean.
30% of the
Yeah,
ocean.
so-
Yeah.
yeah. No, thank you, Siri. But
Siri's telling us to shut up.
yeah, so because of that is because of water pressure. We
Yeah.
can, you know how you can experience air pressure in a
I
room.
hate water
Mhm.
pressure
Yeah,
so
but-
much when you go under. And
Oh,
Have you ever
yeah.
dove
pop your
before?
ears. No, I've never dove before.
If you go diving, like like the bends. You've
I've
heard
been
about that, right?
snorkeling in the Galapagos.
Yeah.
it's fun.
Ooh.
No, the pressure is super dangerous. Once you get
Yeah.
to a certain point in the water, like it doesn't.
And even like for divers to go down to
Nick,
come
you
up,
know-
you gotta go up slowly.
You know why I went there?
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, or you get the bends.
You know why I went there?
Why?
Darwin. That's why I went there.
Darwin?
That's why I went there. That's why I went there.
Charles Darwin?
Charles Darwin.
Charles
Darwin.
Study
Great.
the finches.
Finches,
There's
yeah.
finches that will literally suck your blood on an island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
If you
All
didn't know that,
Nick, it looks like
We're gonna end it? Yeah.
We're
Well,
pushing.
that's one hell of a note to end
Hey,
on, Carson.
good space
Hey,
talk.
we had a really good
government talk. We talked
conversation.
about Russia, North
Yeah,
Korea.
we did. Yeah.
we talked about everything except for sports.
Yeah. Well, we need-
Okay, we'll save that for Silent Chris.
Yeah,
Silent Chris.
that's their we're the
They're
science
fortunate.
guys. They're the
Uh-huh.
sports guys.
Science slash
Yeah, science.
politics slash law.
that law talk was good.
I
Yeah, that
could
was
talk about computer science next time.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
fun.
Oh, I love computers.
I
And
do
math.
not like computer science.
Math is
Really?
great.
Love
math.
computers. Java is such a
We
intense.
can talk about Java.
It's so.
You guys got it. All right.
It's
I-
so
well-
incredibly complicated to code in Java. It's to make it like to make on screen produce like one sentence.
Mhm.
You have to write like 8 lines of code for it to say hello on screen.
Or you could do
Yeah.
HTML.
Well, that yeah, but
HTML
like,
is
but
easy.
not doing that way. Python is difficult, but it's not nearly as difficult.
Python is super easy.
Yeah.
Super easy to learn for me. All right. I'm gonna get back to the game room.
Yeah,
we should
Besides
play
go
right
back to the
now,
game
right?
room.
All right. Thank you guys for joining and watching the podcast. Thank you to both of my absolutely amazing guests,
And thank you
my
to our host,
my
right?
floor mates,
Yep,
right?
toast.
Hey, shout
Hey,
out floor
roommates,
8.
by the way.
Oh yeah, roommates.
As
roommates.
of 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah,
4
and
weeks
these guys are
Something
absolutely amazing.
Something like that.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. Remember, we're here every week from Thursday 4 to 5. If you guys want to come on or just have a segment talking about whatever you guys want, don't be afraid to reach out. Remember, this is a podcast about you guys, about Iona, and I would love to have anybody on. We could literally talk about anything.
Literally anything. I don't even know
It's-
how we got space.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But that's kind of the beauty of this podcast. That's why it's amazing, and that's why I love it. But that'll be it for today. So thank you everyone for joining. Remember to go watch the video, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, I got a rep. But remember, WIUR. So that's it. Thank you all, and I'll see y'all next week.
Thank
Thank you.
All right.
There you go.
Good.